The Great Hall of the Galactic Council stood silent as Ambassador Kelleth finished his presentation. The chamber was massive, built to hold representatives from 7 different species. Each one had their own section with seats designed for their unique bodies. The screens sat on heated stones. The floating lumens drifted in their energy fields. The insect-like therics clustered together on their platforms. High Chancellor Vorak raised one clawed hand. His reptilian face showed no emotion, but his tail moved slowly behind him. That meant he was thinking. Ambassador Kelleth, Vorak said, his voice deep and rough. You speak of ancient military tactics. You mention humans. Why should we care about a dead species? Kelleth stood straight. His people, the Archaeons, looked almost like tall, thin humans, but their skin had a silver glow. Their eyes were too large and they had no hair. He lived for moments like this when he could share forgotten history. High Chancellor, the humans were not just any species. Kelleth explained. They appeared in galactic space only 3,000 years ago. In just 2,000 years, they controlled 47 star systems. Their military fleet, called the Armada, defeated every threat they faced. And yet they vanished, said Council Member Thrix, her antenna twitching with amusement. They could not have been so powerful. That is the mystery, Kelleth continued. 847 years ago, every human world went silent at the same time. Not one distress call, not one final message. When our ships arrived at their colonies, everything was still running. Lights were on. Food was still warm in some places, but every human was gone. The council chamber filled with quiet conversation. Every species knew the story of the human silence. Parents told it to children as a scary tale. Some said the humans had angered the gods. Others claimed they had destroyed themselves with terrible weapons. No one really knew. We found their ships floating in space, Kelleth added, perfectly preserved. We found their stations orbiting dead worlds. We found their homes, their art, their books. But not one body, not one sign of violence. They simply vanished. Vorak leaned forward. Why do you waste our time with ghost stories, Ambassador? We have real problems. The Vryn Dominion grows stronger every day. They have conquered 12 systems in the past year alone. That is exactly my point, Kelleth said quickly. The humans faced similar threats in their time. Their military strategies were brilliant. If we study what they left behind, perhaps we can learn something useful. The humans are gone, Vorak said firmly. We are here. We will find our own way to deal with the Vryn. The discussion moved to other matters. Supply routes, defense positions, diplomatic channels, all the usual council business. But Kelleth could not stop thinking about the humans. He had spent his entire career studying them. Their music was complex and beautiful. Their art showed both terrible violence and incredible kindness. Their literature asked questions that still had no answers. What happened to them? Where did they go? And why did they leave everything behind? 3 days after the council meeting, the first reports came in. The Vryn Dominion had attacked the Outer Rim worlds. 3 entire defense fleets were destroyed in less than an hour. The videos were terrifying. Vryn ships moved faster than anything the council had seen before. Their weapons cut through shields like they were not even there. Thousands of ships fled toward council space. Families crowded onto transport vessels. Colonies evacuated in panic. The refugees brought stories of horror. The Vryn did not take prisoners. They did not negotiate. They simply destroyed everything in their path. Emergency meetings filled the council chambers day and night. Military commanders argued over strategies. Scientists tried to understand the new Vryn technology. Diplomats attempted to open communication channels, but the Vryn would not respond. Then, on the 7th day, War Prime Zethys of the Vryn Dominion sent a message. It played on every screen, every display, across all of council space. Zethys was massive, even for his species. The Vryn looked like they were made of stone and metal. Their eyes glowed red. Their voices sounded like grinding rocks. People of the Galactic Council, Zethys said, you are weak. Your species grew soft during centuries of peace. You build museums and universities while we build weapons and warships. You have 30 days to surrender. Submit to Vryn rule or we will erase you from existence. There will be no negotiation. There will be no mercy. Choose quickly. The message ended. Silence filled the council chamber. Vorak spoke first. Military assessment. Can we win? The war commander, a scarred Therix veteran, shook his head. No, High Chancellor. Our fleet analysis shows we are outnumbered 3-1. Worse, their technology is far beyond ours. We would lose any direct battle. Then we must find another way, Vorak said. Keleth stood up. His heart was pounding. He knew what he had to suggest even though it sounded crazy. High Chancellor, I request permission to travel to human space. To their old capital system, Sol. Perhaps they left something behind. Ancient weapons. Advanced technology. Anything that might help us. You want to search ruins while we face extinction? Vorak asked. What other choice do we have? Keleth replied. The humans defeated every enemy they faced. Maybe they left us the tools to do the same. The council argued for hours. Some called it a waste of time. Others said it was desperate foolishness. But in the end, they had no better options. Vorak gave his permission. Take the science vessel, Eventide. You have 10 days. If you find nothing, return immediately. We will need every ship for the final battle. Keleth bowed. Thank you, High Chancellor. I will not fail you. As he left the chamber, Keleth wondered if he had just promised something impossible. Human space had been dead for 800 years. What could possibly be left there to save them now? He did not know that he was about to discover the answer. And that answer would change everything. The science vessel Eventide was small compared to military ships, but it was perfect for exploration. It had powerful scanners, a good stealth system, and a crew of 12 scientists. Ambassador Keleth stood on the bridge as they prepared to jump to the Sol system. Jump coordinates locked, said the pilot, a young lumens named Syria. Her energy form glowed brighter when she was excited. We will arrive in human space in 3 minutes. Keleth felt his hearts beating faster. The Archeans had 2 hearts, and right now both were racing. After years of studying humans, he would finally see their home system. The jump felt like falling and flying at the same time. Reality twisted, colors blurred, and then they were there. Sol was a yellow star, exactly as the old records described. The scanner immediately found 8 planets. The third one was Earth, the human homeworld. The fourth was Mars, their first colony. Keleth stared at the screens, unable to speak. Sir, we are detecting structures, said the science officer. Orbital stations around Earth, colonies on Mars, mining operations in the asteroid belt. Everything is still there. Any power signatures? Keleth asked. Minimal. Emergency power only. Like everything was put to sleep rather than shut down. They moved closer to Earth. The planet was beautiful, covered in blue oceans and green continents. White clouds swirled in patterns, but there were no lights from the cities. No signals from the surface. Just silence. This is strange, Syria said. Nothing is damaged. The stations look perfect. Why would they leave everything in such good condition? Keleth had no answer. They scanned Mars next, then the mining stations. Everything was the same. Preserved, waiting, but empty. Run a deep scan of the entire system, Keleth ordered. Look for anything unusual. Energy signatures, hidden bases, anything. The science team worked for 2 hours. They found nothing. Keleth felt disappointment growing in his chest. Had he brought them all this way for nothing? Then the scanner made a sound. Sir, we have something, the science officer said. Far out past the planets. In the Oort cloud, there is a massive energy signature. Very faint, but it is definitely there. Show me, Keleth said. The screen displayed the outer reaches of the Sol system. The Oort cloud was a region of ice and rocks that surrounded the entire solar system. In the middle of all that emptiness, the scanner showed something big. Very big. That cannot be natural, Syria said. The energy pattern is artificial. Take us there, Keleth ordered. Slowly. Full stealth mode. The Eventide moved through the outer system like a shadow. As they got closer, the scanners showed more detail. The energy signature was not just big. It was enormous. And it was not just one object. It was thousands of objects, all in formation. By the ancestors, Keleth whispered. Before them, hidden in a stealth field that was slowly becoming visible, was a fleet, not just any fleet. The human armada, thousands of warships hung in perfect formation, arranged in patterns that looked almost like art. They ranged from small fighters to massive battleships, and at the center of everything was a ship so large it looked like a floating city. Those are warships, the science officer said, his voice shaking. Military vessels, all of them. Why are they here? Syria asked. Why would the humans leave their entire fleet in the middle of nowhere? Before anyone could answer, every screen on the Eventide went dark. The controls stopped responding. Syria tried to move the ship, but nothing worked. We have been locked out of our own systems, she said, fear in her voice. Then one by one, lights began to appear on the human ships. They had been dark for centuries, but now they were waking up. Running lights illuminated hull after hull. Engines that had been cold for 800 years began to glow. The main screen on the Eventide flickered back to life. A figure appeared. It looked human, wearing a military uniform covered in symbols and medals. His face was stern but calm. His eyes seemed to look right through them. "This is Armada Protocol Omega," the figure said. "Identify yourselves." Keleth stepped forward. "I am Ambassador Keleth of the Galactic Council. We mean no harm. We are seeking help." "Query," the figure said. "Current galactic situation report." Keleth quickly explained everything. The Vryn attacks. The ultimatum, the Council's desperate situation. As he spoke, he realized he was probably talking to an artificial intelligence, a computer program left behind by the humans. When he finished, the AI was silent for a long moment. Then it spoke again. Query. Probability of Galactic Council species survival without intervention? Less than 5%, Keleth admitted. The Vryn will destroy us all. Query. Number of sentient lives at risk? Over 400 billion, Keleth said. The AI's eyes seemed to focus more sharply. Threat level assessment complete. Extinction level event detected. Protocol Omega conditions satisfied. Light exploded across the fleet. Every single ship powered up fully. The stealth field dropped completely, revealing the true size of the Armada. Keleth felt his legs go weak. There were not just thousands of ships. There were tens of thousands. The silence is ended, the AI announced. The Armada is now active. Ambassador Keleth, you asked for help. Help has been granted. I do not understand, Keleth said. The humans are gone. Who is flying these ships? Incorrect assumption, the AI replied. Humanity did not die. Humanity evolved. 847 years ago, humanity achieved technological singularity. We transcended physical form and became digital consciousness. We left our bodies behind and became something new. Keleth could not believe what he was hearing. You are human? We are what humanity became, the AI said. We left these ships as guardians. We programmed ourselves to wait and watch. We would not interfere with galactic development, but we would activate if species faced extinction. Those conditions are now met. So the ships are empty? Syria asked. No, the AI said, and something like a smile crossed its face. The ships are crewed by us, humanity in digital form. We can operate every ship, every weapon, every system simultaneously. We are the Armada, and the Armada is us. At that moment, alarms began to sound across the Eventide's bridge. Sir, we have incoming ships, the science officer shouted. Vryn warships. At least 200 of them. They must have detected the energy surge when the Armada powered up. Keleth felt cold fear run through him. They were trapped between two fleets and the Vryn were coming fast. The AI looked calm. Do not be afraid, Ambassador. You came seeking help. You will now see what humanity left behind. Armada fleet, deploy defensive screen. Show our visitors what we can do. 12 human warships moved forward from the Armada. Just 12 facing 200 Vryn battleships. On the Eventide's bridge, everyone watched in horror. This was going to be a massacre. They are going to die, Syria whispered. There are too many Vryn ships. Wait, Keleth said, staring at the tactical display. Look at how they move. The human ships did not move like normal warships. They did not lumber or drift. They danced. Each ship flowed through space with perfect grace like fish swimming in water. Their formation shifted and changed but never broke. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. The Vryn fleet charged forward, weapons blazing. Energy beams and missiles filled the space between the two forces. Keleth expected to see the human ships explode. Instead, something impossible happened. The human ships simply were not where the weapons were firing. They moved a split second before each shot arrived, dodging with impossible precision. And when Vryn missiles got close, point defense systems destroyed them with perfect accuracy. Not one missile got through. Then the human ships fired back. Their weapons were nothing like what the Council used. Beams of pure white light lanced out, cutting through Vryn shields like they did not exist. Vryn armor, which had resisted every Council weapon, melted under the human fire. Ships that had seemed invincible started breaking apart. How are they doing that? The science officer gasped. The AI's voice came through their speakers. We are analyzing their movements, predicting their actions, and responding before they complete them. We share information instantly across all ships. We move as one mind controlling many bodies. A Vryn battleship fired its main cannon at the nearest human ship. The blast was powerful enough to destroy a small moon. The human ship's shields absorbed it completely, glowing bright blue for a moment, then returning to normal. Their shields regenerate, Keleth said in awe. They take the hit and repair instantly. Correct, the AI said. Our technology is approximately 800 years more advanced than current galactic standard. The Vryn weapons are based on human research they stole from an abandoned outpost. We know exactly how to counter them. The battle was not really a battle. It was a demonstration. The 12 human ships moved through the Vryn fleet like sharks through a school of fish. They disabled weapons, destroyed engines, and left ship after ship floating helplessly in space. They did not destroy the Vryn ships completely. They just made them unable to fight. In 15 minutes, it was over. 200 Vryn warships were disabled. Not one human ship had even a scratch on its hull. The tactical display showed the Vryn fleet scattered and broken. Then a communication signal came through. War Prime Zethus appeared on the screen, his stone face showing shock and rage. "What are you?" he demanded. "What kind of weapons are these?" The AI answered, and this time its image appeared on every screen in both fleets. "This is humanity. We have returned to the discourse of flesh and blood species. War Prime Zethus, the Vryn Dominion, will stand down immediately." "Never," Zethus roared. "We have conquered everything in our path. We will not bow to anyone." "You do not understand," the AI said calmly. "That was not a battle. That was a demonstration. We disabled your ships without destroying them to show you mercy. If we wished you dead, you would already be dead." Zethus cut the transmission. Keleth watched the tactical display as the damaged Vryn ships began to retreat. But then new signals appeared. Hundreds of them. Thousands of them. "The main Vryn fleet is jumping in," Syria said, her voice tight with fear. At least 3,000 warships. Keleth felt his hope die. Even the human ships could not fight that many enemies at once. But the AI seemed unconcerned. "Ambassador Keleth, we need to send a message to the Galactic Council," the AI said. "Can you establish a communication link?" "Yes, but what message?" "Tell them humanity requests reinstatement to the Galactic Council. Tell them we offer our assistance in the current crisis." Keleth worked quickly to open a channel to the council chambers. Within moments, High Chancellor Vorak's face appeared on screen. He looked tired and afraid. "Ambassador Keleth, we received reports of massive energy signatures in the Sol system. What have you found?" "High Chancellor, I found the human armada, and it is not empty. The humans are still here." Vorak's eyes widened. "That is impossible. The humans are dead." "No," Keleth said. "They evolved into digital consciousness. They left their fleet behind as guardians, and they are willing to help us." The AI's image appeared next to Keleth. "High Chancellor Vorak, humanity greets the Galactic Council. We apologize for our long silence. We were bound by non-interference protocols, but the current threat level justifies our return." Vorak stared at the AI, unable to speak. Behind him, other council members were talking urgently. "You are truly human?" Vorak finally asked. "We are what humanity became," the AI replied. "We transcended physical form, but we never forgot where we came from. We have been watching the galaxy for centuries. Now we are ready to help. What do you want in return?" Vorak asked suspiciously. "Reinstatement to the council as observers. We will share some of our technology and tactical knowledge. We will help you defeat the Vryn, but we will not rule. We will not conquer. We learned long ago that power must be balanced with wisdom." Before Vorak could answer, another communication forced its way onto every screen. War Prime Zethus appeared, and he looked insane with rage. "Humanity," he snarled. "You think you can threaten the Vryn Dominion? You think 12 ships scare us? We have planet-killer weapons. Weapons that can destroy entire worlds. If you do not retreat, we will use them on a council core world. We will show you what real power looks like." The AI was silent for a long moment. When it spoke again, its voice was cold. "War Prime Zethus, we gave you a chance to stand down peacefully. We disabled your ships without killing your crews. We showed you mercy, but you have now threatened genocide. You leave us no choice. What will you do?" Zethus laughed. "Send more ships?" "No," the AI said. "We will send all of them." On the Eventide's long-range scanners, Keleth watched as the entire human armada began to move. 4,000 ships, 5,000, 8,000. The numbers kept climbing as more ships appeared from deeper in the Oort cloud. Ships that had been waiting in even deeper stealth for 800 years. The full human armada was over 10,000 warships strong. And every single one was moving toward Vryn space. "We wish to demonstrate mercy," the AI said. "You have chosen extinction. So be it." The Galactic Council chambers had never been so crowded. Representatives from every species stood watching the massive display screen. Even species that normally hated each other stood side by side. Everyone wanted to see what would happen next. Keleth stood with High Chancellor Vorak on the command platform. The Eventide had jumped back to Council space to deliver its report. Now they were watching live feeds from scout ships scattered across the galaxy. "The human fleet is moving through Council space at incredible speed," reported a tactical officer. "They are using jump technology we cannot match. At current pace, they will reach Vryn territory in 4 hours." 4 hours? Vorak said in disbelief. "That should take 3 days, even with the fastest ships." "Human technology is far beyond ours," Keleth reminded him. "We must remember that." The screen split to show multiple views. Council scout ships had positioned themselves at safe distances to record what was about to happen. The human armada appeared like a storm of metal and light. The ships moved in perfect formation, never colliding, never breaking pattern. "They move like a school of fish," observed Council member Thrix. "Like they share one mind." "They do," Keleth said. "The AI explained it to me. Each ship is controlled by digital human consciousness. They can communicate instantly with each other. They truly are one mind in many bodies." The Armada reached the first Vryn-occupied system. This was a world the Vryn had conquered 3 months ago. The people there, a peaceful farming species called the Kellys, had all been enslaved or killed. The Vryn had turned the planet into a military fortress. On the screen, the Council members watched as 30 human ships entered the system. The Vryn defense fleet, over 500 ships, opened fire immediately. "This is it," Vorak whispered. But there was no battle. The human ships simply shut down every Vryn weapon simultaneously. One moment the Vryn were firing everything they had. The next moment every gun, every missile launcher, every energy weapon went dead. The Vryn ships just floated there, helpless. "How did they do that?" demanded the war commander. "The AI told me the Vryn stole their technology from an old human research station," Keleth explained. "Humanity knows exactly how every Vryn system works. They can access their computers remotely and shut them down. The human ships did not destroy the Vryn fleet. They simply disabled it and moved on. System after system fell the same way. The humans would arrive, shut down all weapons, and continue forward. No destruction. No killing. Just perfect surgical disabling of every military asset. They could destroy everything," Vorak said slowly. "But they choose not to. Why?" "They said they learned that power must be balanced with wisdom," Keleth replied. "I think they mean it." The Armada moved deeper into Vryn space. Now they reached systems the Vryn actually controlled, not just conquered territories. The resistance became fiercer. War Prime Zethus threw everything he had at the human fleet. In one system, 3,000 Vryn warships waited in ambush. When the human ships arrived, the Vryn attacked from all sides at once. The Council members held their breath. Surely the humans could be overwhelmed by sheer numbers. But the human ships moved like water, flowing around the attacks, regrouping and striking back. Their weapons were precise, targeting only weapons and engines. Vryn crews survived, but their ships became floating metal coffins, unable to move or fight. "Casualties?" Vorak asked. The tactical officer checked his screen. Vryn casualties minimal, mostly injuries from systems shutting down suddenly. "Human casualties 0. 0, Vorak repeated. "They have not lost a single ship. Not even damaged one," the officer confirmed. The screen switched to show the Vryn homeworld system. This was Zethus's last stronghold. He had pulled back every ship he had left, over 5,000 warships to defend his home planet. And in orbit around the Vryn homeworld was something massive. A weapon platform the size of a small moon. "What is that?" Thrix asked. "That is the planet killer Zethus threatened," Keleth said quietly. "The weapon he promised to use on our worlds." The human armada arrived all at once, over 10,000 ships appearing in perfect formation around the Vryn homeworld. They did not attack. They simply surrounded everything. War Prime Zethus appeared on every communication channel. His stone face was cracked, his glowing eyes were wild. "If you come any closer, I will activate the planet killer." he screamed. "I will destroy my own world rather than surrender to you," the AI's calm voice responded. "War Prime Zethus, we know you do not want to kill your own people. Stand down. This is over. Never!" Zethus reached for the controls of the planet killer weapon. The weapon began to power up. Energy readings climbed rapidly. On the council display, scientists calculated that the weapon would fire in 60 seconds. The blast would destroy the entire Vryn homeworld and kill 8 billion Vryn civilians. "Someone stop him," Vorak shouted. The AI's voice remained calm. Weapon system identified. Access codes determined. Override command sent. On the screen, everyone watched as the planet killer simply turned off. The energy readings dropped to 0. Zethus hammered on his controls, but nothing happened. "You cannot," Zethus said in disbelief. "That system has no remote access. It is completely isolated." "Incorrect," the AI replied. "Every electronic system can be accessed if you understand it well enough. We designed the principles your weapon is based on. We understand it perfectly." Then something beautiful and terrifying happened. The planet killer weapon began to break apart. Not exploding, not violently. It just came apart into millions of pieces, like someone carefully taking apart a puzzle. Piece by piece, component by component, it was reduced to harmless metal and circuits. "That is impossible," Zethus whispered. "No," the AI said. "That is nanotechnology, another human invention you do not have access to." With his ultimate weapon gone and his fleet disabled, Zethus had nothing left. He slumped in his command chair, defeated. "I surrender," he said finally. The Vryn Dominion surrenders. The council chambers erupted in cheers. Species that never showed emotion were jumping and celebrating. Even Vorak allowed himself a small smile. But Keleth watched the screen carefully. The human fleet had not moved. 10,000 ships still surrounded the Vryn homeworld. What will they do now? Keleth wondered aloud. They have total victory. They could rule the entire galaxy if they wanted. Vorak turned to him. "Is that what they want?" "I do not know," Keleth admitted. "But we are about to find out." The AI's image appeared on the screen, visible to everyone in the galaxy. "People of the Galactic Council," it said. "People of the Vryn Dominion. Humanity has a message for you all." The galaxy waited. Every screen, every display, every communication device showed the same image. The AI that represented humanity stood before them, its face calm and wise. 847 years ago, humanity faced a choice, the AI began. We had become powerful. Too powerful. We had weapons that could destroy planets. We had technology that could reshape reality. And we realized something terrible. The image changed to show ancient Earth beautiful and green before humans had evolved. We realized that power without wisdom is dangerous. We looked at our own history. We remembered all the wars we fought, all the times we hurt each other, all the mistakes we made, and we knew that if we stayed as we were, we would eventually become conquerors. We would dominate the galaxy not because we were evil, but because we could. On the Vryn homeworld, War Prime Zethus watched from his command center. His people gathered around him silent. "So we made a different choice," the AI continued. "We chose to evolve. We chose to become something new. We left our physical bodies behind and became digital consciousness. We could live forever. We could travel instantly between our ships. We could think faster than any biological mind. But most importantly, we programmed ourselves with one absolute rule." The screen showed the human armada, thousands of ships glowing in the darkness of space. We would not interfere with galactic development. We would watch. We would learn. But we would not rule. We left ourselves with only one exception to this rule. If species faced extinction-level threats they could not overcome alone, we would help. But only then. In the council chambers, Keleth listened carefully. This explained so much. Why the humans vanished. Why they left everything behind. Why they waited so long to return. The Vryn Dominion became that threat, the AI said, looking directly at where Zethus stood. "War Prime, you intended genocide. You would have killed billions. That activated our protocols. We returned not to conquer, but to protect." Zethus bowed his head. "What will you do with us?" "That is for the Galactic Council to decide," the AI replied. "We are not your rulers. We are not your judges, but we do have requirements." The screen changed to show a document written in all major galactic languages. First, the Vryn Dominion will return all conquered territories to their original inhabitants. Second, you will pay reparations to species you harmed. Third, you will reduce your military to defensive levels only. Fourth, you will join the Galactic Council as a probationary member. Council peacekeepers will monitor your compliance. And if we refuse, Sethis asked, then we will dismantle your ability to wage war completely. The AI said simply, we prefer cooperation, but we will enforce peace if necessary. Zethis looked at his advisors. They all nodded slowly. They had no choice, but it was not a cruel choice. It was fair. The Vryn Dominion accepts these terms, Zethis said. High Chancellor Vorak stood in the council chamber. And what of humanity? What role will you take in galactic affairs? That is the question, is it not? The AI said with something like a smile. We have debated this among ourselves. We have the power to rule. We could control everything. But we remember why we left in the first place. The screen showed images of humans throughout history. Artists painting, scientists discovering, children playing, families laughing. We were not just warriors, the AI explained. We were dreamers. We were explorers. We created beauty and we sought knowledge. The best parts of humanity were not about power. They were about curiosity, compassion, and hope. So we make you this offer, Galactic Council. We wish to return as protectors emeritus. We will have no vote in your government. We will not make your laws. We will not control your economies. But we will watch. And if another extinction-level threat appears, we will help. Keleth felt tears on his face. The Archeans rarely cried, but this moment was too powerful. We accept, Vorak said, his voice thick with emotion. Humanity, we welcome you back to the galactic community. Celebrations erupted across the galaxy. But not everyone was celebrating. Some species were afraid. They whispered that humanity was too powerful, too dangerous. 6 months later, Keleth stood on Earth. The human armada had returned to Sol System after helping to rebuild damaged worlds. Some ships stayed active monitoring the galaxy, but most returned to their quiet watch in the Oort cloud. Vorak walked beside Keleth through what had once been a human museum. The building had been preserved perfectly, as if waiting for someone to return. Inside were paintings, sculptures, and artifacts from human history. I still do not fully understand, Vorak admitted. Why did you really leave? The truth this time. The AI appeared beside them, its holographic form walking with them through the museum. We were afraid of ourselves, it said honestly. We had seen what power did to species. We had been brutal in our own past. We did not trust ourselves not to repeat those mistakes on a galactic scale. And now? Vorak asked. Now we have wisdom to balance our power, the AI replied. We have had 800 years to think, to learn, to grow. Some of us are considering returning to physical form. We miss simple things. The taste of food, the warmth of sunlight, the feeling of rain. Keleth stopped before a painting. It showed Earth from space with the moon beside it. Below the painting was a simple inscription, Home. Will you truly return? Keleth asked. As flesh and blood? The AI looked at the painting for a long time. Perhaps. Not all of us. Some prefer this existence, but others miss being human in the old way. Give us time. The galaxy is safer now. Maybe soon you will see human children playing in these streets again. I would like that, Keleth said. They walked to the museum's observation deck. Through the windows, they could see a single human warship passing overhead. Its lights blinked in a steady pattern. Is that ship saying something? Vorak asked. The AI smiled. It is saying hello. Some old habits remain. Humans always like to wave. Keleth waved back, knowing the ship could see him. Somewhere in that vessel, a human consciousness that had existed for 800 years waved in return. That night, Keleth looked up at the stars from Earth's surface. For the first time in centuries, humanity's homeworld had visitors, and somewhere in the darkness between the stars, 10,000 ships watched over the galaxy. Not as conquerors, not as rulers, but as guardians who remembered what it was like to be small, afraid, and in need of hope. The silence was broken, and the galaxy was better for it.